Allen, and welcome to This Is Me. And welcome also to our new edition called Cooking with Diane. On today's segment, we're going to be making one of my favorite dishes called vegetarian chili. And we're going to be using 4 different types of beans. We're going to be using kidney beans, black beans, we're going to be using northern beans, and chickpeas. And we know that beans are very healthy. They're full with protein as well as fiber. We got 1 whole green pepper, 1 whole red pepper, 1 large onion, and we have 2 diced jalapeno peppers, and we have 4 cloves of garlic. So those are our vegetables that we're going to be using. I'm going to be doing also about a cup of sweet corn. For my spices, we're going to be having about a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, about a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoonful of oregano, and 2 tablespoons of chili powder. And we're going to be using a dash of salt just to season our vegetables. We also have a can of tomato paste, 2 cups of vegetable broth. For our beans, we're going to drain them and we're going to rinse them, and this will take off a lot of the sugar that causes gas, and also it will be taking off a lot of the sodium that come in the canned bean. And we're going to be adding 2 cups of vegetable broth, and we have also a can of diced tomatoes, and that's going to be, these are all our ingredients that we're going to be using for our vegetarian chili. So I've drained and rinsed my beans, and so the next step I'm going to do is saute my vegetables with a pinch of salt, and after that we're going to be adding our spices. We're going to put our pot on to medium high and warm that up. We're going to add about 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and then we're going to saute our vegetables. So I'm putting in sauteing my vegetables. I have my onions and my peppers, jalapeno peppers, red peppers, green peppers, and we got the garlic going. We're going to saute that for about 5 to 10 minutes. And again, we're going to add a pinch of salt just to help it to sweat, and also for the taste. So we're going to stir that. We have that on the medium heat. We're going to saute our vegetables for about 10 minutes, and after that we're going to come back and we're going to be adding our spices. So my vegetables are nicely cooked and soft, so now I'm going to add my spices. So we got our cumin, we have oregano, we have our chili powder, we have some red pepper flakes, and we have some cayenne pepper. We're going to stir that in. In addition to making our vegetable chili, we're also going to be making pumpkin cornbread. And we always love cornbread with chili, but since the fall is coming in, I thought having pumpkin cornbread would be another wonderful addition with our chili. So now I'm going to be adding my tomato paste. And we're going to turn the heat down, and we're going to let this stir. I'm stirring our tomato paste and let that cook and work it into a nice paste. So we have stirred in our tomato paste, and now we're going to be adding our 2 cups of vegetable broth, and we're going to be adding our beans, and we're going to be adding our can of diced tomatoes to that. Wow, this is looking really, really good. And we're going to be adding some whole sweet corn. You can add about a half a cup. I'm going to give that a stir. We're going to bring this to a boil and then we're going to simmer it. But this is this is it. We can add a little pinch of sugar and that will bring down the acidity base in our chili. So I may just add a little pinch of sugar and that's optional. We are done with our chili. You can give it a taste. If it's seasoned to your liking, then fine. If you think it needs a little bit more salt, you can put that in. But this chili is basically a 30-minute dish. And then that's it. So the last thing we're going to do is bring our chili to a boil. And after that, we're going to cut it down and just let it simmer for about 30 minutes. So all those wonderful spices and vegetables can just come together. And that's it. And I'm going to work on my pumpkin cornbread. So for my pumpkin cornbread, we're going to start out with our dry ingredients. So we're going to add 1 cup of cornmeal. And I like using a sifter because it just makes everything come together so well. So we got 1 cup of cornmeal. And we're going to add to that, we're going to add 1 cup of regular flour. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. One teaspoon of baking powder. And a half teaspoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon of baking powder and a half teaspoon of baking soda. Now, my spices that I'm going to be using some ground ginger, and we're going to add about a half teaspoon of ground ginger. We're going to be using some nutmeg, and that's going to be another half teaspoon. All the warm spices for the fall. And we're going to be using about a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. All the things that go into the pumpkin pie, we're going to be putting into our pumpkin cornbread. And also, our last spice is cinnamon. So we're going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon. And this is going to give us all those warm flavors of pumpkin bread, of pumpkin pie. We're going to add some salt, a pinch of salt, about a half teaspoon. And we're going to sift this all together, and that's going to be all our dry ingredients. And now we're going to cream together our pumpkin and our sour cream, about a half a cup of sour cream and about a cup of the pumpkin. Okay, so we have sifted our dry ingredients and now we're ready to add our wet ingredients to our mixture, and then we're going to put it onto the mixer. So to that, we have 4 cups of melted butter. So I made a mistake on the butter. That is 4 tablespoons of butter, or 1/4 cup. We have 2 beaten eggs, 2 large beaten eggs. we have, now this is brown sugar I made myself. This is one thing that you don't have to necessarily go out and buy brown sugar. You can make your own brown sugar, and that's what I do from here on. So to every cup of regular sugar, you just add 1 teaspoon of molasses. So I made a half a cup of brown sugar, and I added a half teaspoon of molasses, and you just stir it together, and that's how you make your own brown sugar. So I went to the supermarket a couple weeks ago, and they wanted almost $3 for a half a pound of brown sugar. So make your own, and that's another money saving tip. So I'm going to add my sugar, and also I'm going to be adding my pumpkin mix. Now, our sour cream is taking the place of milk. So we had a half cup of sour cream, and we had 8 ounces of pumpkin. We're going to take this over to the mixer. We're going to beat it until it comes together, and then we're going to put it in our cast iron fryer and put it in the oven. And you have your own homemade cornbread. Put it in our oven at the 375 for about 25 minutes or until it's nice and brown. So we'll see you back later. So we are done with our vegetable chili. And there you go. Our vegetable chili and pumpkin cornbread. Delicious. And I'm Diane Allen. This is me. If you are enjoying my Cooking with Diane, please give me a thumbs up, follow me, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.